Yashodanandana Brajajanarandana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Vishnupat Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupat Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Anantapurti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Devi Swamini Namani Prachara Purvanaksham Sarabhaktacharya Pravinakam Bhartatapika Arunyami Sinsarva Chatirama. Jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Prabhu, would you like to share the screen where the Prabhupada Lilamrita is on?
Yes, Mataji, I am doing it. Just one second.
Thank you.
So, Mataji, is it visible now?
Yes, it is. Thank you so much. Someone asked a person, I'm actually, okay, I'm going to log off this device now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, you can start.
Oh, sorry, I was speaking all this time. Maybe I should start again then.
No, we can hear you now, Mataji. You can start. I mean,
Okay,
incidentally, we didn't hear you. So you can start now.
okay. All right, I can start again. Someone asked how a person who had been very sinful could be relieved of his karma. And Prabhupada replied simply, come and live with us. That's all. Is it very difficult? Our students, they're living with us. You simply come and live with us, and you are free from all karma. Is it difficult? Then do that. We shall give you food. We shall give you shelter. We shall give you nice philosophy. If you want to marry, we shall give you a good wife. What do you want more? So come and live with us, that's all. Prabhupada stressed the same point in his lecture. If a person seeking spiritual fulfillment lived and served with ISKCON devotees, even material fulfillment would come. These Krishna conscious boys and girls in 60 centers, they're living in the best houses. They're eating the best food. They're in the best consciousness. They've got the best hope. Everything best. Their feature of body is best. What material happiness do you want more than this? They've got wife, children, happiness, home, everything full. So material happiness is nothing to a Krishna conscious person. Material happiness will roll at his feet saying, please take me, please take me. There is no need of asking for it. Simply be steady and ask Krishna, please engage me in your service. Then your satisfaction will automatically come. Don't bother for material happiness. Nandakishore asked, what happens to a person out on the street if we just give him one simply wonderful or some prasadam? Simply wonderful is a sweet made from powdered milk, butter, and sugar and offered to Lord Krishna. Prabhupada, then it is wonderful, simply wonderful. The devotees laughed. He has not tasted such wonderful sweet in his life. Therefore, you give him wonderful. And because he is eating that wonderful sweet, one day he will come to your temple and become wonderful. Therefore, it is simply wonderful. So go on distributing this simply wonderful. Your philosophy is simply wonderful. Your prasadam is simply wonderful. You are simply wonderful, and your Krishna is simply wonderful. The whole process is simply wonderful. Krishna acts wonderfully, and it is acting wonderfully. Who can deny it? Kirtananda Maharaj, Prabhupada is simply wonderful. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Okay, so we are reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, chapter 14, text 44. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, here we are. Text 44. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Would someone like to chant the verse?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, I'll go for that. Yo dustajan shiti shuta swajanartha daran prarthyam shriyam shuravaroi sadaya avalokam noichhan nripasthaduchitam mahatam madhudvit sevanurakta manasam abhavopi phalguhu. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Would someone else like to chant?
Hare Krishna
Yes.
Mataji, I am also chanting. Yo dustajan skiti shuto sajanartha daran prathyam sriyam suragaro ishadaya bolokam noichon riposto duchitam mahatam madhuddhi shivanurakta manasam avavoki phalguhu. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I am also trying. যে দুষ্ট জন ক্ষিতিসূত স্বজনার্থ দারান প্রার্থাং শ্রিয়ং সুরবৈরৈ সদয়াবলোকম নৈচ্ছির্ন নৈচ্ছ নৃপস্থ দুচিতং মহতাং মধুদিট সেবানুরক্ত মনসাম অভবহোপি ফলগুঃ. হরে কৃষ্ণ.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
हरे कृष्णा जी नंबर प्रणाम. यो दुष्टया जांचिति सूते स्वान अर्थ धारान परा अर्थयं श्रियं सूरवैरही सदायावलोकाम नैच्छन् नैच छन्न नृपस तत् उचितं महताम मधुद्वीप सेवानुरक्त मनसाम अभवो अपि फल्गु. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
Dhanva Pranam. I'll also try.
Go for it.
Yo dustyajan shiti suta sarvajanartha dharan Prathyam shriyam sura vaira sadaya valokam Naicham napastada uchitam mahatma matu dvita Sevanukarta manasam abhavo api falgum. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Jai, it's nice to see so many enthusiastic devotees eager to chant the Srimad Bhagavatam. So synonyms, yaha, who, dusht, yajan, very difficult to give up. Kshiti, the earth. Suta, children. Swajana artha dharan, relatives, riches, and a beautiful wife. Prathyam, desirable. Shriyam, the goddess of fortune. Suravarai, by the best of the demigods. Sadaya avalokam, whose merciful glance. Na, not. Achat, desired. Nripaha, the king. Tat uchitam, this is quite befitting him. Mahatam, of great personalities. Mahatmas. Madhu Duit, of Lord Krishna, who killed the demon Madhu. Seva Anurakta, attracted by the loving service. Manasam, of those whose minds. Abhavaha api, even the position of liberation. Falguhu, insignificant. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Shukadev Goswami continued, My dear king, the activities of Bharat Maharaj are wonderful. He gave up everything difficult for others to give up. He gave up his kingdom, his wife, and his family. His opulence was so great that even the demigods envied it. Yet he gave it up. It was quite befitting a great personality like him to be a great devotee. He could renounce everything because he was so attracted to the beauty, opulence, reputation, knowledge, strength, and renunciation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Krishna is so attractive that one can give up all desirable things for his sake. Indeed, even liberation is considered insignificant for those whose minds are attracted to the loving service of the Lord. Would someone like to read the first paragraph of the purport?
Yes, Mataji, I
Yes,
can.
Mataji. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Okay. Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. This verse confirms Krishna's all attractiveness. Maharaj Bharata was so attracted to Krishna that he gave up all his material possessions. Generally, materialistic people are attracted by such possessions. Shall I continue, Mataji?
Yeah.
One becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children's relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. The attraction for material things is certainly due to illusion. There is no value in attraction to material things, for the conditioned soul is diverted by them. One's life is successful if he is absorbed in the attraction of Krishna's strength, beauty, and pastimes as described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The Mayavadis are attracted to merging into the existence of the Lord, but Krishna is more attractive than the desires to merge. The word abhava means not to take birth again in the material world. A devotee does not care whether he is going to be reborn or not. He is simply satisfied with the Lord's service in the condition that is real mukti. Do you want me to continue, Mataji, or somebody else want to read it?
Yeah, maybe someone else can go.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Mataji, I can go ahead. Iha jasya haridasya karmana manusha gira nikhilasyapi avasthasu jivan mukta sauchyate. One who acts to serve Krishna with his body, mind, intelligence, and words is a liberated person, even within this material world. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.187. A person who always desires to serve Krishna is interested in ways to convince people that there is Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. That is his ambition. It doesn't matter whether he is in heaven or in hell. This is called Uttama Sloka Lalasa. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Let's go. Take your bag.
Jai, thank you so much. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Jai. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I just thought before I start, I just wanted to say thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak about Krishna and to glorify the Srimad Bhagavatam. So I'm very grateful to be here. And this is I've been preparing for this class for over a month, so I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And this is like the most important time for me in the past 1 month because I've been really preparing for it, and I am really looking forward to sharing a few realizations with you, and also, of course, really looking forward to having your inputs as well. So once again, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, and this is like the most important thing for me today in this day, and it has been for the past month since the time that I've been preparing for this. So thank you so much once again. So unfortunately, my idea of doing it on two devices is not working because I thought then I could at least see you while I'm sharing my screen, but we can't have everything. So, all right, so I'm going to start my screen share. So here we go. So I want to keep this. So I want to keep this. I want to keep this a discussion and not just that I'm talking. Yes, I would like to keep it very interactive for those of you who are. I can understand most devotees will be multitasking. But I will be, yeah, I will be using some visuals. So if you have a chance every now and then, please to look at the screen. I'm a visual learner, and so then I like to also um, present in that way. Okay, so this verse here, now this is coming to the conclusion of this whole pastime of Bharat Maharaj, and it's a very, very instructive pastime in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And so this in the last few verses of this chapter of this pastime, now Shukdev Goswami is taking the opportunity to glorify Bharat Maharaj. So this specific verse, it's interesting what we discussed from the Prabhupada, what we read from the Prabhupada Lilamrita is very closely going to tie in with with the points that I'm going to be bringing out from this purport. So this verse is a very beautiful glorification of the Mahatmas. So these are devotees of the Lord who have achieved perfection of attraction to the loving service of Krishna. So we saw in the translation, in the verse, there was a word called as Sevanurakta. So Sevanurakta means we know what is Seva. Seva means devotional service to Krishna, and Anurakta means one who is attracted to it. So Bharat Maharaj, he had this perfection of being attracted to the loving service of Krishna. Now, these devotees, they are such Mahatmas. They are not interested in anything else. You know, they don't care whether they don't care if they have to come again, if they have to take birth again in this material world. They don't care about their geographical location. They don't care whether they are in heaven or in hell. It doesn't matter to them. All that they want is they only want to be engaged in devotional service under any condition. So they don't care about, they don't care about the desires. They don't care to fulfill desires that are, that are very prominent for karmis, for demigods, for yogis, for jnanis. So they don't care for these things. Mahatmas, they don't care for what is desired by karmis and demigods. Generally, what is desired by karmis and demigods? They desire opulence and they desire a beautiful family life. So, so these devotees, so Mahatmas generally they don't care for such things. Then they don't care for what is desired by the yogis, which is siddhis. They don't care for what is desired by jnanis, which is moksha. So none of these things are attractive to the Mahatmas. The only thing that is attractive to them is devotional service, how to serve Krishna. That is the only thing that attracts them. So the Shastra gives us many wonderful examples of such illustrious devotees. So the first example that popped in my mind was, of course, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and how he says in the Shikshashtakam, he says, "Na dhanam, na janam, na ishwarim, kavitam, na jagat ishakamaye, mama janmani janmani ishware bhavatat bhakti rahe tukhi toi." So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is praying that birth after birth, I don't care, if I have to take birth after birth in this material world. but the only thing that I'm praying for is causeless devotional service to Krishna. Then another glorious example we have is the main hero of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Maharaj Parikshit. So Maharaj Parikshit, he doesn't care about eating, drinking, sleeping, fatigue. He's not caring about anything. As soon as he got his first opportunity, he got an opportunity to exit his royal kingdom, and he took that opportunity. And he took that opportunity, and he fully immersed himself into hearing and chanting about Krishna. Now, devotees, would you like to share some examples of such devotees who we see in the Shastras who exemplify this mood that they don't care if they have to take birth again. They don't care what situation they are in. The only thing that they care is hearing and chanting about Krishna, is about devotional service. Would you like to share some examples?
Amrish Maharaj.
Vritrasura.
Yes, Amrish Maharaj, Vritasura, yes, yeah.
Bharat Maharaj.
Yeah, definitely Bharat Maharaj. Any other examples?
Ramanujara.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj. Yes, Prabhu, what did you, who?
Oh, that was me. Ramanacharya.
Say again?
Ramanujacharya.
Ramanujacharya. Okay, yes. Okay. Wow, amazing. Any other examples? Okay, we go with these. So in addition, I also identified a few other examples from Shastra. So recently we have just completed the Kartik Vrat. So every day as a part of the Kartik Vrat, we sing the Damodar Ashtakam. And we are singing this verse. This devotee is praying that Varam Deva Moksham na Moksham Vadhimba na Chanya Brineham Vareshadapiham. So what is this devotee praying? This devotee is saying that he doesn't care for impersonal liberation. Then he is praying that he doesn't even care for the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha. And then he says that he doesn't even pray for any other benediction that may be obtained by the 9 processes of bhakti. But the only thing that he is praying for is to have this vision of Krishna's cute face, of Bal Gopal. So this is another example of this mood of the Mahatmas. Then another example I thought of was quoted by Mataji Vritasura, who is actually the devotee Chitraketu. So it's very interesting that Maharaj Chitraketu, he is traveling the universe in his airplane. He's a Vidyadhara and he is glorifying Krishna. And then when he comes into the assembly of Lord Shiva, he is cursed by Mother Parvati. And Mother Parvati, she curses him to be born as a demon. And it's really, if you see that whole pastime is so instructive, if you see how Maharaj Chitraketu responds. So first of all, he gets off his chariot, then he bows down, then he apologizes, and then he gracefully accepts the curse. And why is he able to do that? He's able to do that because actually it doesn't matter to him whether he's in heaven or he's in hell. Because he knows, because he has such a taste for glorifying Krishna that his external conditions don't matter to him. And then Lord Shiva actually glorifies Maharaj Chitraketu after he leaves. He is glorifying such devotees of the Lord to Mother Sati, and he's saying that, he's actually saying that look at the beautiful qualities of the devotees of the Lord. That they don't care for any material happiness. They don't care where they are. The only thing that they want is to glorify Krishna. And then the other example is of the Prachetas. So I'd like to read this prayer. I'd like to read their prayer. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 30, text 33. Would someone like to read the translation?
Krishna Mataji, I'm reading it. My dear Lord, as long as we have to remain within this material world due to our material contamination and wander from one type of body to another and from one planet to another, we pray that we may associate with those who are engaged in discussing your pastimes. We pray for this benediction life after life in different bodily forms and on different planets. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is the key characteristic of the Mahatmas, that they don't care about their external situation. The only thing that they care for is to be engaged in hearing and chanting about Krishna and the association of devotees. That's it. This is, and this is also the theme of this verse. And this is exemplified by their detachment. So so why is it that these devotees pray like that? So the reason why they pray like that is because they have such a taste for Krishna Katha. They are actually tasting the nectar of Krishna's glories and the glories of his devotees. And because they have so much attraction for that, then they have full detachment from material conditions, because they are so they have, the attraction is so strong that it doesn't matter what's happening around them. They are fully absorbed in that. So they are tasting the nectar of Krishna Kathamritam now, which okay, before we go there, so now I'd like to ask you, if anybody would like to share that, what is the nature of Krishna Katha? What are the qualities of Krishna Katha? What happens when we hear Krishna Katha? Would anybody like to share?
Hare Krishna Mataji, it is given in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, I think chapter 10 and verse 30, 31, I think, where it is mentioned, chapter 31, where it is Tavo Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam. And it started in this, Tavo Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam. Then I'm just forgetting what it's called. Kavi Viridam Kalmashaham Sravanamangalam Simodatatam Bhubi Grinanti Yo Viridajana. That means for those who are suffering in this material, it is called material fire, fire, material fire, those who are suffering in that fire. So Kathamritam is Amrita for them. And in this way, it goes on. I leave it to you, Mataji, to explain. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Would anybody else like to add something? That what are the qualities of Krishna Katha? What are the effects? What's the nature of Krishna Katha?
Brings about auspiciousness.
Yeah, auspiciousness.
Kleshagni,
Kleshagni, correct? Yeah.
Shubhada Moksha.
Yeah. So these are the 6 characteristics of devotional service.
Salvicious.
Yeah. So Shubhada Moksha. So Shubhada is, it brings auspiciousness. Moksha Lagukrit is that it diminishes the
Anarthas.
happiness which is provided by liberation, oneness. Anything else? Any other points? Somebody like to add?
Purifies the heart.
Yeah, purifies the heart.
It makes you forget your material condition, however unhappy or whatever it may be. You forget about it, at least for the time being.
Yeah. Makes you forget your material situation. Nice. What else?
Connects you to Krishna.
Yes, connects you to Krishna. Amazing. Nice. Really, really nice points here. Thank you so much for sharing. Before I move on, would somebody like to add anything else? Okay, cool. So thank you so much, everyone. So Prabhu has set the context for this discussion. So the verse that he quoted from the Srimad Bhagavatam, that's the verse that I'm actually going to be discussing. It comes in the Gopi Gita, Tava Kathamritam, Tapta Jivanam. So we will look at the qualities of Krishna Katha. So what is it that the Mahatmas are tasting? That by tasting this, they have so much attraction. They have so much attraction to this taste that they're able to give up everything else. So the first quality of Krishna Katha, of this nectar, of Kathamrita, here's the point, of this nectar, is that this nectar, it subdues the fire, or it gives life to those living entities who are burning. So, you can see that when we are, let's say that if we burn ourselves, maybe while we are cooking something, if we burn ourselves, and the first thing that we immediately want to do is we want to put something cold on it. Either we put it under cold water, or we want to put an ice pack. So that cooling effect, it immediately takes away our suffering, and we just want to keep it. We want to keep the ice pack, we want to keep the water running on our burn spot for as long as we can, right? It's like until we have to actually physically separate ourselves, because we know that as long as we're in connection with that coolant, we will not feel the suffering. So generally, it's like we keep ourselves, we keep the burn spot running under cold water, under an ice pack, until it's cooled, until that heat has been taken out, and then we put a burn cream or something. So the water has a cooling effect, and that cooling effect of water, it takes away the heat. So similarly, Krishna Katha, the nature of Krishna Katha, the nature of this nectar is that it subdues the fire in which living entities are burning. Now there are two types of living entities who are burning. So one is one category are the conditioned souls who are burning in the disease of samsara. So this samsara is like a big fire, is like a big disease. And the nature of Krishna Katha is such that it helps to douse that fire. So Narottam Das Thakur, he says it very beautifully in this bhajan, Hari Hari Vifale. So so I've just got a line from there. He's saying, Samsara Bishinale Diba Nishi Hiya Jwale. There are expert Bengalis here on this forum. So I'm just going to give a very loose translation. So we know what samsara is. So Bishi is poison, and Nale is fire, blazing fire. We know what Diba is. Diba is day, and Nishi is night. And Hiya is this, and Jwale is burning. So we are burning day and night in this fire of and this blazing fire of material poison. So just like a person, if he is put into a blazing fire, then he's burned into ashes. So similarly, we are burning in this fire. And what is this fire? This fire is this poison of thinking, how shall I enjoy? So how shall I enjoy this? How shall I enjoy materially? That I want to enjoy this situation. Let me try and control this situation. Let me try and manipulate this situation so that I can get something for my enjoyment. So this fruitive mentality, it always creeps in. So this fruitive mentality, this desire to enjoy, this enjoyment propensity, separate from Krishna, is like a poison. And we are burning in this poison. I don't know if you can relate to it, that sometimes you eat something and you have an instant bad reaction to it. So similarly, this mentality, this false ego that we have, that we want to enjoy separately from Krishna, this is like a poison that we are, that is inside our system. And this poison is constantly burning us. So this is the fire that is being referred to. And Krishna Katha, the nectar of Krishna Katha is such that it actually transforms our enjoyment propensity, um, our propensity to enjoy separate from Krishna. It transforms it back into our original propensity of enjoying by serving Krishna. Because our enjoyment comes when we serve Krishna. That's how we enjoy. So we are not primary, we cannot be primary enjoyers. We can only be secondary enjoyers. So this nectar of Krishna Katha, it transforms, it reverts back our original propensity of enjoyment, of enjoying independently from Krishna to back to giving enjoyment to Krishna. So this is how this nectar of Krishna Katha, it subdues that fire. It subdues this blazing fire, because day and night we are burning in this fire. And then there is, so not only, so the conditioned souls are burning in this poison of enjoying separate from Krishna. And then we have the liberated living entities, the liberated souls who are burning in the fire of separation from Krishna. So Tava Kathamritam, so Krishna Katha, this nectar, it actually relieves the pangs of separation from Krishna. Because Krishna Katha is non-different from Krishna. When we hear about Krishna, we are in association with Krishna. So for those devotees who are in the liberated state and who are actually feeling separation from Krishna, they experience Krishna when they hear about Krishna. And that's why they always want to hear about Krishna. They always want to chant about Krishna, because they can't handle any separation from Krishna. They are burning in that fire of separation. So just imagine, it's like when we are burning, if our hand is burning, we want to put water on it immediately. It's like we can't tolerate separation from water, because we know that as soon as I put water on my burn, it will give me relief. So similarly, devotees who are burning in this fire of separation, they want to hear Krishna Katha. They want Krishna. So it relieves those pangs of separation. Tapta Jivanam. So Krishna Katha, it gives life to those devotees who are burning in the fire of separation, and it gives life to conditioned souls who are burning in the poison of material enjoyment. So that's the first one, Tapta Jivanam. The next one is, this is not from this verse, but I wanted to add this point. This is Sandrananda Visheshatma. So the nectar of Krishna Katha is concentrated bliss. And what is that form of bliss? Is that it's that one drop from the ocean of devotion cannot even the happiness that is derived from moksha, or the happiness that is derived from material enjoyment, it cannot even stand. Like even an ocean of happiness derived from these activities cannot compare to one drop of happiness derived from the bhakti ocean. So this is the nature of nectar. This is the nature of this nectar, that there's no comparison to it anywhere else. Then the next one is kalmasha apaharanam. So apaharan, we know what this word apaharan means, to kidnap. And kalmasha means misfortune or inauspiciousness. So Krishna Katha, the nectar of Krishna Katha, it abducts or it kidnaps all types of misfortune from our life. So we know that there are different stages of sinful reaction. So you have aprarabdha, then you have prarabdha, then you have kuta, bija. So Krishna Katha, it kidnaps all these from our life. It drives away all these different stages of sinful reaction from our life. And how do these manifest in our life? They come out as misfortunes or as self-induced obstacles. Now, this Krishna Katha is superior than the nectar of Swarga and Moksha. Why? Because The nectar of Swarga, it actually increases desire, which is a cause for sin. And moksha, the nectar of moksha, it doesn't destroy prarabdha karma. And plus, it is temporary because you can fall down. That's why the nectar of bhakti is much superior, much, much more superior than the nectar of moksha and the nectar of swarga. So this was kalmasha apaharanam. Then the next one is shravana mangalam. So why is listening to Krishna Katha so auspicious? The reason why it's so auspicious is because just by hearing the goal of Krishna Katha, the ultimate goal, which is Krishna Prem, it becomes attractive. And just by hearing, the goal can be achieved. So that's one. Then the second point is just hearing bestows all sorts of benefits. Even if you hear in an angry mood, in a lusty mood, then also just hearing bestows all benefits. Even if you don't understand the meaning, then also just hearing bestows all benefits. And then what to speak of if you actually understand or if you actually consider the meaning, then you can imagine what is the extent of benefit that you receive by considering the meaning. So this is why Krishna Katha is so auspicious. It's Shravana Mangala. And then the last one, yes, yeah, and the point is that by hearing about Swarga or by hearing about moksha, you don't get these things. So you only get this nectar through Krishna Katha. And then the last point here is Srimad-Atatam. So the reason why it's Srimad-Atatam is because it bestows all types of wealth. Bestows all types of wealth right up to the and the nectar of Swarga and Moksha don't do that. So this is actually the result of hearing Krishna Katha that we get so much nectar that the nectar of Krishna Katha, it gives life. It gives life to those who are burning from material poison. Then it is so blissful that one drop from this ocean completely diminishes the happiness that is obtained from Swarga or Moksha. Then it removes all inauspiciousness from our life. It brings all auspiciousness to our life because just by hearing, we are attracted to the goal and we can achieve it. Just by hearing, we get all possible benefits. Doesn't matter in what mood we hear, doesn't matter if we don't understand the meaning. And just by hearing, even though and if we consider the meaning, then we can imagine what benefit we get. And just by hearing, we achieve all types of wealth, right up to the wealth of prema. So, so Krishna Katha, as we know, is the glorification of Krishna and his devotees. So by hearing about, this person is trying to hear, if you're looking at the screen, excuse my drawing. So actually, by hearing about great personalities, what happens is that we become inspired to actually engage in devotional service and to pay attention to the fact that am I putting my heart into my service? So when we hear about such devotees, then our heart, it actually starts to develop aspirations that when will be the day when I will develop such a taste for Krishna Katha, that when I will have so much taste and when I will have so much attraction that I will be able to actually develop detachment from the material world. So when we are reading about these devotees, our heart comes alive with such aspirations. And actually, it is very, very important for our heart to come alive with such aspirations, because otherwise, if our heart is empty and if it is devoid of devotional feelings, then while we are waiting for Krishna's mercy to descend, we will seek to satisfy our senses with material happiness. Because the subtle motivation in our heart, the subtle motivation in our heart to get something for my satisfaction is always there. Our position is so unfortunate that even though we have the best thing, we have no taste for it. In the same bhajan, Narottam Das Thakur sings, Golokera Prema Dhana, Hari Nama Sankirtana, Ratina Janmila Kenetai. So here we are reading about Bharat Maharaj, who left everything so easily. And why could he do so? He could do so because he had this attraction for Krishna Katha, because he was actually tasting the nectar of Krishna Katha. So in front of that, there is no standing of material happiness. One who has $1 million in his pocket, he is not attracted to a $50 note on the street. So one who is tasting the wealth of bhakti bhava, one who is actually tasting the wealth of Krishna prem. But for such a person, the wealth of bhukti and mukti is nothing. They're not attracted to it. But for us, especially speaking for myself, I don't have $1 million in my bank. I don't have the wealth of Krishna prem. We know that we will have it in the future. It's there in the seed form. It's there in its subtle form. But right now, maybe in our bank, we have $50 worth of taste for Krishna consciousness, or maybe we have $100 worth of taste for Krishna consciousness. So in such a situation, when we see a $50 note on the street, then we go for it. It's like telling a conditioned soul who is hungry, telling this person that you just wait here. I'm going to cook kidney beans for you, and it will take about 2 hours for this beans to be ready. What is this hungry person going to say? This hungry person will say, okay, you keep cooking your beans, and in that much time, I'm going to order Uber Eats. So that is our condition. It's like, because our bank account is low, especially speaking for myself, we don't have so much taste for Krishna consciousness. So until we're waiting for Krishna's mercy, we want something in the interim. So that's why it's very important for us to develop it's very, very important for us to develop our emotions, our devotional emotions. Because if we don't develop these emotions, then Maya will force us back into material activities. If our heart, if we are not feeling emotionally inspired in Krishna consciousness, then we will seek this emotional fulfillment outside of Krishna consciousness. So this is really something for us to think about, that how emotionally fulfilled I am in my bhakti life. Because the living entity, we are pleasure seeking, we are ananda mayobhyasat. So this is a question that we have to ask ourselves, that where am I seeking my fulfillment from? Is it coming from Krishna, or am I going to material sources for my fulfillment? So I thought to discuss a little bit on this topic. I only have 4 minutes left. But I will try to be quick. So I really just wanted to talk about this point, that on one side we are talking about Bharat Maharaj, that he was Sevanurakta, he had attraction to Krishna. But what about us here? What about me, right? I'm not at that level where I can just leave everything and yeah, and and become like Jada Bharat. I'm not there, but yet at the same time, I would like to have that absorption. So how do I get there? So this I've got this from this book, Bhakti Bhava. It's by my Guru Maharaj Devamrita Swami. And in this book, he is dedicating quite a big section on how to gain emotional fulfillment in bhakti. So I've made a small acronym. Um, this acronym is ALIVE. Okay, so we'll look at it. So A is for aspire, L is for look and investigate, V is for visualize, and E is for engage. So let's look at the first one. So these are 4 steps. Simple. We can maybe try and remember 4 steps on how to become a happy devotee, 4 steps on how to have emotional fulfillment in bhakti. So the first step is A. A is for aspire. So what should our aspiration be? Our aspiration should be, let me wade in the ocean of devotional service. Let me swim and let me splash and not come up for fresh air. That's how much I want to drown in bhakti. That's how much I want to drown in the ocean of devotional service, to be completely absorbed. Really, that there should be no chance for the mind, for the material mind, to think about material enjoyment. I want to be so absorbed in the ocean of bhakti. So that should be the aspiration that we should cultivate in our heart. Then the second point is of alive is to look and investigate. So how do we, so these are the four steps on how to make our heart come alive in bhakti. Yeah. So the second one is look and investigate. So instead of being passive in bhakti, we should constantly seek for service opportunities. Where is the service? Where is the service? Instead of being passive, we should always see, how can I serve Krishna here? How can I serve Krishna in this situation? How can I improve my service? So we should be consciously looking to do something for Krishna. So that is look and investigate. When we are spending time with devotees, we can find out, how can I help you in your service? Is there something that I can do here? um, yeah, we can. There are always service opportunities around if we are looking for them. So that's the second one: look and investigate, consciously wanting to do something for Krishna. So having that mindset. Where is the service? Then the third one is we visualize. So, as the second one was consciously seeking opportunities, the third one is consciously deliberating, consciously anticipating. Now, we have this experience in terms of our material experiences. So, let's say, when we want to go on a holiday, the mind, even if the holiday is 1 month away, the mind has already gone there. Like, for example, let's say, if we want to go to the dham, we are already thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to go to this temple, I'm going to go to this temple, I'm going to go do the parikrama, I'm going to meet these devotees. Yeah, we are already visualizing ourselves doing that. So that's what this point is about, that we should constantly deliberate in our heart that how my heart and senses are going to engage for Krishna's pleasure. We should visualize in advance how my senses are going to engage in Krishna's service. So we should have this excitement of anticipation. Oh, that I'm going to be doing this service and I'm really looking forward to it. And this feeling of excitement, we have to offer this feeling to Krishna. That Krishna, I'm really excited to attend Bhagavatam class. I'm really excited to go on Sankirtan. I'm excited to cook for you. I'm excited to organize this event for you. I'm excited to serve the devotees. So our senses should really come alive in this excitement of anticipating connection to Krishna. That I'm going to be doing this service. It's like, yeah, like this is what Maharaj is saying in this book, Bhakti Bhava, that the heart should be alive with this anticipation, anticipating connection to Krishna. It should come alive with that excitement. Yes, and then the last point is E, engage. We can relate to this from Nectar of Instruction. We have that verse, right? Utsahan nishchaya dhairyat. So E, so the first is we should have this enthusiasm in the heart that I have a chance to serve Krishna. This is my chance to give Bhagavatam class. Let me put my heart into it. I have a chance to cook for Krishna. Let me do that with all my heart, with all my enthusiasm. Let's not take opportunities for devotional service for granted. So I was with this, so at the loft, I was chatting with this guest, and she was telling me that she recently broke up with her partner. And one reason why she said was that she said that I just felt that he wasn't trying like the way he did when we started the relationship. It's like when we got together, he was really, making efforts to please me. and he was really making efforts in the relationship. But now I feel that he was just taking things for granted, and I feel that's being I feel that he was being disrespectful because he wasn't showing the same initiative as before. So that's why I decided to quit the relationship. So when she said that, I really started thinking about me and my relationship with Krishna. I was like, geez, I am like that, that I take my chanting for granted. I take my service opportunities for granted. I'm not showing up with this excitement in my service, Wow, this is an opportunity for me to chant Hare Krishna. This is an opportunity for me to go on book distribution. This is an opportunity for me to make some graphics for social media. This is an opportunity for me to serve devotees. So I don't have that anymore. So where has that gone? So this is something that we have to endeavor for, that actually, Krishna, I want to serve you. Because at every moment I have that choice, I have the choice that am I going to be enthusiastic about serving Krishna or am I going to be a dull head about serving Krishna? That choice is mine. Every moment I have that choice. So that's what this is about having that heart-throbbing motivation, enthusiasm. I want to serve Krishna and I don't want to take it for granted. This is my opportunity to dress the deities. This is my opportunity to take darshan of the deities. Let me do it to my fullest to do it to my fullest heart's content. And what does it mean to put our heart into our service? It means to do that service with concentration. And what does it mean to do something with concentration? It means to show care, and even though it may cause us some inconvenience, then as well to do that service with care. And then the last one is, now it is easy to do this if it is easy to concentrate if it's just for 10 minutes or 15 minutes or for half an hour. But to do the service in that way, day after day, or regularly, however regularly we do that service with care, with attention, even though we may have to go through that inconvenience, but we do that service with a fine sense of duty and commitment. So that's the third point of how do we actually engage. So we engage with enthusiasm, with care, even though it may be a bit inconvenient, and with a fine sense of duty and commitment. So this is how we can come alive in Krishna service. And this is extremely important because if we actually don't make proper emotional development in bhakti, then we will throw away the perfection that we have of engaging in our basic bhakti practices. Because we'll feel like, oh, what is this doing for me, So, yes, we are doing all these practices externally, but what is the shape of the heart? So, our heart has to be full of aspirations. When we are reading about Bharat Maharaj, that, wow, actually, I want to soak up his aspirations in my heart. I want to offer devotional service like that. Look and investigate, where is the service? I'm always looking. Visualize, how am I actually going to engage in Krishna's service? How am I going to give my heart to Krishna? How are my senses going to engage in Krishna's service? How am I going to cook this feast? How am I going to do this service? How am I going to do that service? And engage, enthusiastic. Wow, this is my opportunity to serve Krishna. Let me put my heart into it. Let me do it to my best ability, even though if it requires some inconvenience. And let me do it with a fine sense of duty and commitment. Okay, so that's what I had to share. Wow, I felt like that was quite a lot, a big download. How do I go back to share screen? Yeah. Here we are. So thank you, devotees. That's what I had to share. Thank you for bearing with me. The last part was a little bit fast. We've gone over time, so I don't know if anybody wants to share anything or if anybody has questions or comments or reflections, if anybody would like to share.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much for the very nice class, elaborately explaining from different angles this verse, and particularly about what is the role of the Mahatma, what the Mahatmas do. And if I remember correctly, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse number 13, the Mahatmas are, I mean, what did the Mahatmas do? That is clearly defined. Mahatmanastu partho doibim prakriting asrita bhajante ananta manasho gyatta bhutadimagam. They know the real, they have the proper knowledge of the Lord, and they engage in the service of the Lord. They know this, and they are engaged in the service. That is their feature of a Mahatma. And for us, and also we hear from such Mahatmas, or those who are serving the Mahatmas, or following the directions of the Mahatmas. For us, we have to hear from them and hear Bhagavad Katha from them. When we hear from them, then it creates three things, if I can remember correctly. Yes, it is 1, 2, 7 of Srimad Bhagavatam, where it says, Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojito Janayati Ashu Koiragyo Gyanam Chajavahitakum. That means when we hear the Krishna, Vasudeva, or the Lord Krishna, Katha, and when we hear from them, so it creates our attraction for the Lord, and it takes away material attachment, and also it gives us the knowledge. So it simultaneously gives everything. When we hear properly from a proper Mahatma or a pure devotee of the Lord, we get all these things. So when we hear from them, gradually, our contamination from this material attachment ceases, and we are attracted. Our attraction increases, and our attraction for the material things ceases. And in this way, we are directed to the right, and also gives us the proper knowledge at the same time. Again, also, the knowledge of Krishna also get from him. So our duty is to engage in the service of the Lord, and Prabhupada has always told that bhakti is nothing but devotional service. That means it is a service. Only through service we get attached to the Lord. Without service, if one thinks that mere knowledge is of no use in one sense, because most of us know that we are not this body but the soul. But how many of us realize it? And the realization comes through devotional service. The more and more we are engaged in, as you have very nicely explained from various angles, and I'm concluding by telling that you have very nicely explained these things, but ultimately it is hearing from a pure devotee, or who are following Mahatmas, or they themselves are Mahatmas in one sense for us, before us. We take this opportunity. When we utilize it, we are in the right path. So with that, I'm concluding. Thank you, Mataji, for your nice class once again. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Would anybody like to share anything else?
Hare Krishna Mataji, very nice class. And that, my takeaway point, the bank analogy. I don't have the $1 million, but I have to be alive. That's why. Yeah, very nice. Yes. So then we have that money. So we'll not attracted for the $50. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we
Wow.
have to be
Thank you. You
alive.
put it really nicely. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we are alive, then we'll have the money in the bank.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else like to share anything? Jai. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Vancha
Kalpataru
kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhu
Pashindu
bhayavacha
Devasya
patitanang
Patitanam
pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo ananta koti Vaishnavindo ki jai. Munjaranya Mataji ki jai. Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All grace to Asamul devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.